You are here at Wholesaling 101. Again, this is Wholesaling 101 here on a hump day to get you over the hump that's happening in your business. And today you get me and a lot of me, which means we're going to be in privy comping. We are going to be making calls to agents. And honestly, this is a great time to drop a question in the chat because it's me and you engaging to make sure that you are actually getting over that hump this Wednesday. So if you are here, please tell me where you're coming from. I need a drop as to in the chat, where are you all at? I'm already seeing my friends here. Yay! Okay, Jose, Kimberly, thank you for being here because that means I can bring you more value today. Atlanta, solid market. I see you, Bison. Woo, good to see you. Hey, Oliver from Moffett, Colorado. It's good to see you as well. I am really excited. Of course, am going to have some jitters being up here alone. I don't have an Emily to ask me questions. I don't have a Benson to bring all the value he does on Privy. So please be with me in the chat and bring me questions like, where are you stuck in your business and how can I help? In the meantime, I'm just going to be moving through Privy if you don't have something specific and start making calls. So I need a competition. Where should I start? Where should I start calling in Privy today? Where do you want to see? I've got an address. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me get my screen up. A lot of addresses. Okay, good. Now you guys are here with me today then. Let's get this chat up and rolling right next to me. And we're going to jump into Jacksonville. Straight into Jacksonville. Ooh. All right, so this last sold on 2021. That's something I'm taking a look at first from the jump. Next thing I'm looking at is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 936 square feet, and generally where are we sitting in Jacksonville? Interesting. All right, I'm gonna keep rolling. I sometimes will take a look at property remarks and MLS details, especially if it's on market. This one's not on market right now from what I'm seeing, so I'm going to go straight to comparables to just know what's going on in the area. And I always like to take a peek at what just popped up initially. A lot of 3-bedroom, 1 baths was something that popped up. Ooh, here we have a 2-1. That's good. All right, I'm going to go to my favorite setting. Honestly, this is my secret sauce in Privy. It's going to be investor only and all. If you're here today and you don't have Privy, I just want to let you know that we're spending our whole time in here. It's where I pull my comps, even as a licensed agent in Colorado. If I'm comping in Colorado, I still use Privy. So if you don't have this, I highly suggest you get it. And I've got a QR code for you so that you can get that discount. The code, promo code, not QR code, is DAMG. And that's going to get you 30% off if you go annual or 20% off your first month if you're going to take the monthly route. So if you don't have that, go grab that and then come back. All right. So I like to hit investor only and all. For some reason, this particular bunch, I seem to find things I really like to call comps in here. So I've got a single family and I'm looking within a half a mile. I'm going to save that and see what it pulls up. Whew. All right. See, these are the things that are my favorite to find because it was purchased at some time at a number and then resold at a different number. Do we know exactly what those dates are before we click in? No, not yet, but at least we can kind of see some of the activity that's happening around this particular property. See if I can get you guys scrolled up. There we go. Now you can see more, right? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see more. Okay. 105 to 215. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I want a 2-1. This is still a lot of square feet in comparison to the 900. Adjustable, but not always easy. One second, y'all, my screen froze, but I promise we will move eventually. One of the first things I would do if I'm seeing comps like this, where there's a lot of 3-2s in the area and I'm dealing with a 2-1, is make sure that the agent is seeing some of that, is already understanding that. So if I'm hopping on the phone, I'm going to stop share for a second. So hopefully my computer can catch up to what's going on. But if I'm seeing a lot of activity that are 3-2s and this is a 2-1, I'm already going to hop on the phone with that particular agent and I'm going to ask the question, hey, do you have any comps that are 2-1 after they've been flipped and after they've been renovated? Why? Because I'm putting that agent to work. They're going to make money off of me if I'm the buyer here. I want to see if they're the right agent to work with. Are they going to take that assignment? I also want to see, do they have comps that maybe I'm not seeing in that particular area? Let me see if I can pull this back up. There we go. All right, cool. So this is a really small square footage, even though they put a 3-1 in there, and we know it's sold at 140. I'm going to click into this comp and see at least what's going on here, because it is so much easier to add a bedroom than it is a bathroom. So for your end buyer, if they're looking for comps that are going to be slightly outside of what is already happening in a 2-1, adding a bathroom is going to be harder. So 3-1, very small square footage. At least I'm somewhat in the area here. Ooh, and it was really ugly before. Fantastic. And they bought it at 61,000. It did have 3 beds when they bought it at 61. Perfect. Ooh, I want to read what you got on comps, Bison. Used Broadway Ave as a comp. Adjustments I got was 160 ARV. Perfect. I like what you're seeing there, because if I was even just going off of this comp, which I'm not going to say is the perfect comp, and I was adjusting for more square footage, I would be going up from that 140. So I don't think you're far off from a 160 ARV. The question is, are we dealing with the right motivation from that particular situation? One second. Decline my buyer. I'll talk to you later. So let me see what else we could potentially look at. Bison, give me a thumbs up if that was at least helpful. You need to be talking to somebody to see if you can get that somewhere around probably 55 to 60%, depending on what its current inside looks like. Hi, Joy. I'm glad you're here. I know if I scroll up, I'll find some more. All right, Brandon. Like in Florida today. Let's take a look at this one in Portage. Ooh, and it's on market, which means I can make a call for you guys. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has been listed for 30 days. Square foot, 1,152, 1981. Also, just taking a look at this, I'm going to say this might be manufactured, and that's something I need to look out for. You're never going to take a frame comp and place it up against a manufacturer comp. That is a no-go. So I need to make sure that my comps are in that range if that is true. What up? It's good to see you guys. I appreciate the love in the chat. All right, let's go to comparables. Actually, I lied. Property details. We've got to know if that's manufactured, or what am I doing looking at comps? Can I get a thumbs up if you moved tabs with me and you are now looking at Redfin? Please, 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 please. Thank you, Kimberly. She's coming in the clutch. All righty. Okay. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 129 is what they're looking for. Good to know. I'm going to write that down. Investors, please read. I am an investor. I will read it. Tenant is in place. No need to look for a tenant. Could be positive or negative. This home is located in a mobile home community where you own the land, no park fees. All right, let's talk about that. Just because a manufactured home community, most of the time in a community, what they're going to do is sell you that asset, the manufactured home, and not sell you the land. So that you're still paying for that monthly lot cost. And if you're an investor, that monthly lot cost has to go into your costs of holding. And that's always something to kind of keep in mind, because if, for example, your investor doesn't know about manufactured homes, and goes in thinking that they're owning the land, there's a problem. So this is interesting because it is a manufactured home, but they don't have park fees. I rarely run up against that. 2 areas, park, boo, boo, boo. Okay, all the things that are wonderful in that community. We know it's manufactured. We know that you own the land in this particular area, but we're going to have to stay in this park to comp it. So I'm going to do a little zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. You can pretty easily see a manufactured area by going, okay, see how tiny these little lots are, with the home being most of that lot. So I know I'm still within the neighborhood in this particular area. Now, because I have to stay in that neighborhood, it's going to be hard to see just investor activity there. So this is a perfect time to just first try all investor only. All right, there's some activity, but it doesn't look like it's in this neighborhood. Let's see where it is. There we go. Oh, and for anybody asking, how did I get to Redfin? I did it through Privy, and that's kind of the beauty of it is anytime it's listed, you can click on view external listing, and that will pull you out, show you what realtor is the listing agent on that. So really cool resource that's already built into Privy to make sure that you're keeping your tabs down. Honestly, that's one of the things I love most about this program is I can go into Privy, see most of my activity in there. And if I need to go somewhere else, it's automatically going to push me there. So again, if you don't have this, I've got a code for you. You can use one of my favorite last names, DAMG, and you'll get 30% off for the annual package, or you'll get 20% off if you do the monthly package for your first month. Okay, so jumping back into this, we do have comps in kind of the right area here. Let's see what's going on. 3, 3, 2, 1. I'm looking at lot size, trying to make sure I'm staying in a small lot. Just based off a lot of these sizes staying the same, I can tell that we're probably looking at a lot of manufactured, but I don't know that until I click in. So I can't just look from here and say, oh, that's the comp. But I can get kind of close to just seeing activity and what's going on. One thing that my team always reminds me to do that I often forget is to organize by solds. So if you click that and then click it again, you're going to get the most recent sale. And then if you scroll down, you're getting away in sales. So for example, if you scroll away and you can see in the spring, a bunch of things sold at 300, but now the same type of things more recently is selling closer to the 165s, then you know that there's shifts in that market. And you can't use comps that are from further back if they're already starting to change like for like. That's always something to remember. Also, fun fact for you in the manufactured home department, if you are above 1976, please Google that if you're going to use this rule, but I want to say it's 1976. You are, can somebody confirm that for me in the chat if they know? You are within the newer HUD tagged manufactured homes. If you are older than that 1976, you can't get regular financing. That would be a FHA financing or conventional financing because they don't have a HUD tag. And that shifts everything. So even if it was within a 10-year time frame from a 1985 to a 1975, they're different in value just based off of that HUD tag. 1976, Brandon got burned on this. This is why I'm telling you, don't get burned like Brandon. Don't get burned like Brandon. Gonna have to work on that. All right, 1979 though, we're on the right side of it all. In 1981, so I wanted to click into this one. We are sorry that you got burned, we really are, but thank you for popping in there and helping. Oh, this isn't manufactured immediately. That's a no. I can tell this by just the entryway, but let's say you need to kind of double check that. When you click in, you're going to go to MLS details. I'll scroll past agents and offices. Here's where you get all of that information. You see here, construction materials, block stucco. Definitely not manufactured. Definitely not a comparable in this case. So I've got to get out. I don't actually know this for a fact, but we might be able to search to see if our comps are manufactured. Can I get a thumbs up in the chat if you're okay with me experimenting? To find out. Let's see. Let's go to just all. Thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Let's go to all, because then we can change some things, I think. Oh, good. We have a lot of people who are down for experimenting. You are in the right business. That's what this is all about. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here because I know this one's manufactured. Now I want to point out something. Thank you. Market research is amazing and I'm all about it. And I want to point out that for myself, in my own business that works in Florida, I would not spend that long on this comp. Reason for a deal is a deal when you have a buyer. And I've talked to a lot of buyers in this particular area, and a lot of them, not saying all, you might have the right buyer, are not buying manufactured. So to some extent, when you're going into this different type of range, you want to make sure that there are buyers that really want that. And Privy can show you if there's activity, if there's flip activity in that particular area, and maybe those people will be your buyers. But if you're not immediately seeing that on Privy, then that's a time that I would move on. So what they're really selling here is that you still get to own the land, which to a lot of people that are in this price range as a more retail buyer, that might be their thing. Let's call. I'm not seeing a lot of comps that make me super excited. I never get terribly excited about manufactured. Maybe this agent can get me excited. That's how I feel about it. Excuse me while I take off that so that I can get her number. All right. I'm a dialer. I like getting on the phone. I can't look at numbers too long.
Thank you for calling Future Home Realty. If you are a real estate agent seeking information about a particular property, please call the listing agent directly.
Okay, so we don't have her direct. Let's find her direct. Copy, search in Google. All right, totally new number, just off one Google. Let's see if it goes direct to our good friend, Gail.
Hi, this is Gail.
Hi, Gail. This is Corey Ann. How are you doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm calling because I'm taking a look at your 6531 Tralee Ave. It's now a bad time to pick your brain.
Oh, no, this is fine. Sure. What can I?
I'm trying to decide.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I got you confused with somebody else that called this morning about it. So, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I bet you're getting a lot of calls about it. I can see some value add here.
Mhm.
Will you tell me the story, what your seller's looking for, and then especially you as the person that knows this market the best, where might I be able to take this property if I put some bells and whistles on it?
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, Corey, are you a realtor?
I am. I'm licensed in the state of Colorado.
Oh, okay, so you're licensed in, okay, you're a realtor. Okay, I just need to know who I'm talking to. Hang on.
In this scenario, though, I would be looking for representation. I would just be the investor here.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So what can I tell you?
So I'm curious, if I put some bells and whistles on this, could I resell it for a higher value?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it has three small bedrooms, and then the fourth one is a pretty good size. It has 2 baths. It's an older one. The man that lived there, he's one of my investors. He's owned it for a number of years. In fact, he just moved out of it and we rented it to this young girl. And she's a single mom with 2 kids and has a boyfriend. So, and she's been calling me to fix this, fix that, so we've been staying on anything that comes up, The owner does not want to offer any financing.
Oh, okay.
Because when mobile homes,
Yep.
I mean, even anything, it's an older home and it does need some tender loving care. It does. But, he just lowered the price a little bit. So I'm proud of him for doing that. And I can send you, if you want, the seller's disclosure. It doesn't really say too much on it.
Well, okay, so you've got somebody in there, and I did see that on the listing. What's the rent right now? And what's the end of lease time?
Yeah, which site are you looking at?
I was on Redfin.
Oh, okay, yeah, that stuff, all those sites don't tell you all the specifics. I can send you the listing.
Okay.
So let me, what do we have?
Yes, please.
We did it 129.9 and let's see. Built in 81. The tenant, her lease is how would it be on this? I used to know it, and they changed things on it.
She has to look up her own listing to
um,
know what's going on in her listing. That's what's happening.
I think it's April next year.
Okay, so April of next year, and she would she want to stay after that? I imagine single mom, 2 kids, moving is not the most fun.
Yeah, she would.
Okay.
Yeah, she would. If that's the route that you're thinking about going, that would be great. And she is paying, what is she paying? Let's see. Doesn't say in there. Let me pull my rental records.
Yes, please. And then, I mean, while you're pulling those records, this seller, he's an investor. Does he have other properties, perhaps not manufactured, he's looking to sell?
Yeah, they're just manufactured homes.
Okay.
Okay, she is paying $1,200 a month, which is high for that neighborhood.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but she's paying, she's a CNA, so she has a good job, Yeah, and she's paid on time. I gave her an extension in September because her and the kids had COVID, so she couldn't work and didn't have sick time. So, but she paid it right away. Well, paid on the 11th, so she's really good about it all.
Okay.
But
yeah, I mean, those numbers are pretty nice on a rental side. I have to tell you, Gail, normally I like to flip them. I want that immediate equity so I can put it back out there. But as a daughter of a single mom who grew up actually in a manufactured mobile home, I kind of have a heart for it, and that the numbers do shake out. So do you mind if I drop you a text with all my information? And then if it's not this property, maybe it's another one that we can work together on.
Yeah, why don't you do that? And I can send you the MLS listing so you have all the pertinent information there. And yeah, that would be wonderful.
Awesome. I look
Okay,
forward
that's
to it. Thank you, Gail.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, so whoever dropped that particular address, you could potentially have something here in a buy and hold stance. Because those numbers as to where you're purchasing and where those rental numbers are coming in are pretty close. So depending on who you're working with in the area, if you don't have anybody, you can always reach out to me on IG. It's just my name. But you want to start looking for buyers that are interested in making that kind of rental income. All right. Thank you. I'm seeing some people that liked that line of questions. I really appreciate it. The thing that went off in my brain is when she says he's an older investor, I go, ooh, he's probably looking to sell. And so I always want to be on and with that. Give me 1 second. Thanks all. I appreciate just a minute. My dad needs to grab some things from the room that's next to me. So you're taking a look at that. You're hearing that she has somebody that she's connected to that might be making multiple sales. That's a great agent to follow up with. So always go after that. I need, love you. I need another address. Please, please, please. If you already dropped it, drop it to me again. You guys are fantastic at keeping me going in this chat. So it probably has disappeared. Ooh, take me to Chicago. Let's go. All right. All right. Of course, I'm going to start in my favorite place, Privy. That always gives me the biggest scoop right from the start. If you guys don't have Privy, I highly suggest it. If you're new and you're starting in wholesaling, this is the first additional investment that I would make in terms of software and programs, because you can keep track of your properties in lists. You could use it as a CRM in that particular fashion, but more importantly, you're going to get those comps and things that you need. So did I end up in the right address? I did. I want to know where this is. Okay, I know this area. So I've got no information in terms of in Bath, but that's fine. Let's see. It's off market. What does it know? All right, something to know. It like happened to have lived in Chicago and love Chicago. So it's always fun to look at. One thing that I already know in terms of comps is I cannot go past Halstead and I cannot go past 57. So all of my comps, unfortunately, have to come from this little window. I might be able to go more, this is probably east and west literally, but I could probably go more north here on this particular map or more south, as long as I'm not crossing over those particular much larger roads. Just want to know, there should be activity in this particular area. And there is, thank goodness, I don't have to cross the roads because there is activity. And remind you, I don't know anything about what's going on in this property. I don't know its bed. I don't know its bath. I know it's a 1-story and I know its location. But for the most part, I'm going to just keep moving to see what's happening in that neighborhood. And then I can always get a hold of the agent to get all of that information. Pull that chat right back up. Okay, so we've got a lot of things that are going for the 100s and then re-showing in the high 200s. Let's see if there's somebody we can get a hold of. Thank you for the question in the chat as to whether or not I always click all an investor. Yes. So when you initially start in Privy, if you hit reset, it's going to bring up what Privy sees as the most important comps in the area. And that can be incredibly, incredibly useful. I let that reset happen at the very start just to see what it's thinking. And then after that, I want to see all of the investor activity. And then let's say nothing pops up after all of the investor activity. I'm going to get rid of investor and just look at all activity across the board. Okay, so by just looking at that property elsewhere, I can see it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Looks to be maybe 2 units to make that up. So maybe a 2-1-2-1. Then I go back to Privy. Let me reshare so you can see me look at these comps. Okay, so almost immediately, I'm interested in this having been a 4-2 and selling at 124. And then reselling at 350. Obviously, they had to add a lot to make it a 5-4. What that probably means is that there was an additional level they could turn into another unit or something like that, that might have increased that value. But just out of the 124 and the 116 here, I would start having questions with an ARV of about 300, assuming that I could purchase somewhere in that 115 to 125 range. But in something like this, where you don't have a lot of information and it's not on market where I can go call an agent, you've got to be having a lot of conversations either with your agent who's connected you to that off market or your seller to better understand what's going on there, to find that comp, to nail down that ARV, because 250 is a big difference between that and 350. Cool beans. Let's see if I can grab another one. All right, Frederick, I don't know anything about California. So let's see if I can comp an area I don't know too well. That's the fun thing about Privy is like I can go to almost anywhere and still start to understand a little bit about what's going on in that area. For the Chicago person, if you've got more information on that, you can DM me on Instagram, just my name, tell me what's going on there, and I'd be more than happy to be more assistance as to how to move forward. Okay, are we listed on this? I completely missed it because your chat is in the way. No, but it says view external listing. So let's find out where it takes us. Okay, we are active for 850. And so old. The reason I jump over to the external listing link on Privy, if I don't already have photos and things like that, it means they don't have a direct relationship with this particular MLS that houses this, which means they can push me to this external listing and I can kind of click around. Oh, she's perfectly ugly in every way. For those conversations of, you know, I'll buy grandma's house, this is the perfect grandma's house. Let's go back into comparables. All right, so nothing pops up immediately. This I already know because it's yellow that it's a larger road, so I probably shouldn't go below that. I need to stay above it. But it looks like I might need to expand my search here. So I'm going to go to settings and show you actually what's going on here. And let's try the reset and see if it pulls anything outside, because what this is saying is in this like half a mile radius, there are nothing that it's pulling as an investor comp. If he's not seeing anything immediately, let's take it to 2 miles. Yeah, Miguel's got my back. I'm not crossing that particular spot. All right, so that didn't bring up anything. Let's go to settings. A little south is Mexico. Oh, that's funny. Okay. No, we know investor isn't there. Let's try all and just see if there's some activity in this particular area. Plenty, which is great. Now we can zoom back in. All right. Interesting that I'm not seeing a lot of things in this particular area above this going for 800, which is what the list price is, right? Which is a bad sign for where they have this listed if I'm not already automatically seeing things that are at least at that price or higher. So here's something that is a little outside of the 10-year mark, but at least sold around 800 might be something that they think they're pulling from. It has a days on market over 400 days. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Let's call the agent. Let me show you how to handle somebody who's been sitting on market for like way too freaking long at the weirdest number ever. Because obviously that's not the right number. Let's see if we can get a hold of them. And am I going to spend more time figuring out what the right number is? No, I don't have time for that. I'm here to make money. So if I'm seeing that Privy's not showing me those kinds of comps, I'm definitely going to have a conversation with the agent because I want to know all agents that are out there making money in my area. I'm going to figure out if there is a way that I might be able to bring value to this, but more importantly, I'm going to ask them if they've got anything else. So I'm sure many, if this has been sitting on market for 400 days, I'm sure there's been plenty of people that have talked to this poor agent. Let's see. All right, if you're excited that I'm about to call an agent that's been sitting on market for 400 days, can I get like any kind of enthusiastic emoji? Because I'm going in where it gets tough here. And I'm doing it for you. I want to see you succeed. All right, Salvador. Speak.
Hello, this is Salvador.
Hey, Salvador, this is Corey Ann. I was just taking a look at one of your listings. It is the, let's see, I just lost it. The one off Ross Road. I think you've had it listed for quite a while. Is now a bad time to pick your brain about it?
No, so which property on Ross?
745 West Ross Road.
Okay, yes, that one is still available.
Okay, that's good to know. Whew, this gal needs some work, right?
This one does need some work.
Okay.
It does. And I'm sorry, are you interested home buyer or a real estate agent?
So I'm licensed in the state of Colorado, but here in California, I always like to just buy and flip. That's what I'm after.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
And
So you know, how can I help you?
So normally I'm after things like this that look cosmetic. I'm relatively newer to this area though. If I went and I made this thing look completely ready for a new family with 2.5 kids, what would you relist it for after I did all that work?
So this one, it depends. It depends on what type of upgrades or what type of work, you know. It all depends on how much you do to it. But
Okay.
easily this one, I'm assuming probably within the 900 to probably right there close to $1 million.
Oh.
That means like no stone left unturned. Completely remodeled.
Have you seen a remodel like this recently in the neighborhood that I could take a look at?
There hasn't been none that have been remodeled like this, or you know, like this one that haven't been remodeled.
Okay.
But I can definitely send you sales comps within the area.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that because when I'm looking at it right now, I see it more as like put in the work and then we might be able to get 850 out of it. But if you can help prove me wrong and show me some comps that are gonna push that out of the water, then I might be able to look at this price. That being said, does your seller have any wiggle room at all?
It's kind of hard to say, but one thing that I can share with you is that she did receive 2 cash offers at 600,000 and she rejected them.
Okay, all right. Well, that is a big difference. So that's kind of understandable, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be worth your time and my time if I ended up landing closer to that like 625, 650 range?
I still think we may be far off.
Okay,
Just because of the size, and this one does also have another partial. So you're actually buying 2 partials with this one. So this property is just under 3 acres. It's actually 1.4 acres where the house sits. And then you
Okay.
have an additional partial on the east side of the property.
Mhm.
That's a 1.5 acres.
Is that already subdividable by the county?
So this partial is already divided. So this purchase would be 2 partials.
Oh, okay. You're starting to convince me as to where we're headed on price here. I like
Yep.
you, Salvador.
Yep. So there's one thing about the other lot.
Mhm.
The seller hasn't given me any information and they're unaware of it, but just from me looking at it from my experience,
Mhm.
I would say that there's a possible encroachment of the pump house
Oh, okay.
right in between of the other partial. Possibly.
How long of an
this
inspection
one has a
period
bit
do you think we could
superior.
get to figure that one out? Would they allow me
I'm
10
sorry?
business days? I said, would they allow me 10 business days to kind of figure that one out and make sure that wouldn't be a problem?
Like once we were to enter into contract on an
Oh,
agreed
yeah.
price.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't waste your time
Yeah,
without a good contract.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't see any issue or any problem with the 10-day inspection contingency.
Okay, cool.
No, not at all. I encourage you to do your due diligence and to do any inspections.
Would you be willing to represent me as well? I know that you already hold the listing.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, first I've got to see some comps that kind of push me above that 850. So I know I'm not flying blind here. Do you mind if I just drop you my card and information? Will you send me over what you're looking at?
Sure, will do.
Awesome. Thank you. It was great
Absolutely.
to connect. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You got it. You're very welcome. You as well.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.
Under 5 minutes, got everything in regards to what offers have already been put on the table. They got 2 at 600. That probably tells you where your competition is sitting. If you can go find your buyer and you know that they're going to buy above that and you can beat out your competition at 600, let's go. I think there could also be a play in the fact that there's two plots there. So to those that know California, to especially the person that dropped this address, this is really, 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 really important to me, guys. If you're here on this chat, I want to bring you value. I want to change your business. I want to make sure that you don't fall into all the pit holes that I fell into. But if you show up and steal other people's addresses and you bring bad vibes, I'm going to be very, very, very upset. So to whoever had that particular address, go kick some butt. Oh yeah, looks like I got another address, y'all. Give me 1 second to get it in there. All right. Excuse me for immediately putting up that old property and close that. Close this, close them all so I don't go slow. And let's do this new one I've got here from Florida. I saw it in the chat, but I'm still going to have to type. So if you all wouldn't mind just giving some like serious Natasha love to the chat, because she's out here making sure that I don't go rogue. And making sure that your questions are answered appropriately as I'm looking at all of these different things. So send her love, please, 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 for me. Oh, I can already tell she's ugly. That makes me happy. So So 3, 2, by the way, guys, this blue thing means it's privy preferred, which means they've already evaluated it as something that probably has equity play. So if you see those blue marks, you probably want to go that direction when you're looking at a longer list or when you get your email push. If you don't have privy, I want to remind you how cool this is. If you're working a W-2, it will allow you to email yourself the deals that you've already, like your search criteria is in. It's going to email you the deals and keep you updated so that when you get off work, you can immediately start calling those agents. And I brought you a code. It's DAMG. If you use that code, you'll get 30% off an annual subscription or 20% off your first month if you go monthly. So back onto this 1,700 square feet from 1957, 8,163 in the lot. Kind of a cute chandelier, I'm not gonna lie. No flooring whatsoever. Beat up. Kitchens from the 1950s. Man, oh man, would I like to flip her. Let's see if she's at the right price. Let's see. Okay, so just so you know, if you're coming down here into MLS details and you skip it and go straight to comps, which is sometimes a thing I like to do, you might be missing out exactly what that agent already thinks of this property. So they think it's in a great location, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It is a ranch, which is probably a good thing. It's on one floor, which is normally a plus. So they wanted to highlight that. New HVAC 2023. Roof was replaced in 2012, which still puts it over 10 years. Clean slate. I wonder what that means. Okay, cool. So we've got a feel for what she probably thinks is going on here. He or she, they. All right, so I believe we're on reset where this is Privy's poll. Let's make sure we are. 95 right here. Big highway. Property is on this side. I'm going to stay on that side. That's important. Oh, and so, you know, I rarely use this, but this is actually really cool. So let's just take a moment. Graduated from art school. I'm going to bring you one of my greatest masterpieces. Oh, look at that circle. Okay. I'm still in that neighborhood. I'm having a blast here, guys, with you, if you cannot tell. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1957. I want to find something like it. Let's do my little sold trick. All right, so now we know we're looking at most recents, something that's sold as of this month, sold for $289, originally for $214. I like that. All right, yeah, I'm excited to click into this one. One of the things that makes me excited immediately about this comp is just from like two tiny photos, I'm like, those kind of look the same. And that's what I want. I want the face to look the same as my comp. This is very nicely finished in terms of a flip. They kept the popcorn ceiling, which is like a little bit of a sign of age, but we also have like nice new cabinets, traditional appliances. This flipper did great. This flipper could be somebody I would consider as a buyer for this particular area. But first, let's find out more. Let's go to before and after. So I'm in the comp of the subject property now, if you're just joining us. And I want to know what it sold for to the flipper and when. It was still this year over the summer at 74%. 213. Okay, that's good to know. It was a 3-2. They made it a 4-2. That's what we're seeing here. So they added an additional bedroom. All right, one other thing, because I know that we're in Florida, this is huge to Florida, is what is the construction material of both particular properties? Because I don't want to compare a block building to a wood building. So I'm in my comp still right now. I'm looking at features, trying to find where it says construction materials. Watch you guys find it faster than me. doesn't look like it says. Okay, well, that's fine for now. It's fine until I want to put it under contract, right? Oh, interesting. When I click into this comp, it's bringing up more comps in the particular area. This is an older sale, but that pushes you kind of up in the 305s between 289 and 305. I would still stick with that 289. I want to go back to my subject property, back in my little bubble, 3.2, especially since this had that additional bedroom. I would need to adjust this down using appraisal rules to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath if I'm going to talk to my buyer about that particular move. So for example, if I'm seeing a bunch of comps in the area and there are a bunch of 4.2s, and I see that you could potentially add an additional bedroom in my 3.2, I could sell that to my end buyer. I could sell, hey, here's how you can make this deal work and make money. So anytime you're looking at comps, that's kind of something I'm thinking about. I'm like, what is the play here? And how can I add value within that? So I'm kind of going with the rough 289, which probably puts you a little high here. Let me check one more time for comps that are 3.2s, because that would make me very happy. Oh, you know what, guys? You know what? We should go to settings. We should hit investor only and see what is going on there. Okay, that pulled up that one. This was a 3. Okay, so that pulled up the 2 that we already looked at, which is great. We know we're on the right track in terms of our comps. Now let's hit all investor only, see if that shifts it a little bit. It did shift it. So let's see how. 250, 270. That was a 3.2 all along. Its lot is similar. Ooh, it's smaller than ours. Ours is 17. That's big. Close to this. Okay. I say we call the agent and figure out what's going on. You down to call the agent, y'all? I'm like roughly landed in that 270, 280 range. And I see investor only if I go into settings, like comparables settings is over on the left-hand side. Click into that, and then you're going to see a little box that says investor only. I will show you that again if I cannot get a hold of this agent, but first I would like to try and see if I can find it. If you have an agent account within Privy, you probably can already see that name and that number. Most of us, including myself in this moment, I'm going to have to just go into Google, research that. Now I find myself in Zillow, and I know that Lauren is the gal that I'm going to call. And oh, Salvador just texted me his email, so we're linking up. Fantastic. Oh, this has only been on market for 1 day too. Run like the wind. Okay, this is the last call we can get in. Hopefully Lauren is here for us.
Lauren McGuire with the Wire Realty Group. Sorry I missed you. Please leave me a message and I will return your call as soon as possible. Thanks for calling and have a blessed day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Lauren. My name is Corianne, and I am looking at your 4255 Glenwood Road in Jacksonville. Whew, I bet your phone is ringing off the hook because it's only been listed for a day and it looks like an amazing project. If you could please give me a call or text back, this is my cell, and I will also drop you my card. I would love to have a conversation and see if I'm the right buyer. Thanks so much, Lauren. Well, have a great day. All right. The word buyer in a voicemail, yummy. An agent's like, ooh, money. And they call you back. So it's always a good one. How far can we go for from 0.5 miles for comps. It is always going to be like very dependent on neighborhoods, because if you are within the same neighborhood for a mile and a half, or in a similar neighborhood with a similar zip code, then sometimes you can stretch that. Obviously, you want to be as close to your comp as possible and as similar to your comp. But if we're also dealing within that same neighborhood, I would potentially look at a mile out, even half a mile. I have a tendency to hit 2 for 2 miles, just so I get the full radius of things that are going on in that particular area. But like, what you don't want to do, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to cross any major highways. You don't want to change any access. In Florida, if you've got access to water in one property and you don't have access in another property, problems. So those are kind of the things that you're thinking about. So for example, let's say I'm in the same neighborhood, but I'm looking at a property that's on the busy highway and another property that's deep in the neighborhood. Like, you can drive around the corner and then you're in the cul-de-sac and you're never going to hear that busy road. You're still, you're in the same neighborhood, sure, but you're dealing with different comps in that case, because I, sitting at your subject property on the busy road, could kick a ball and my dog could run after it and he's right in traffic. Now, if I'm in the property that's in the neighborhood, I could kick a ball, my dog runs after it, my neighbor sees, he stops, he doesn't hit my dog, we're happy, we wave, I say I'm sorry, and move on. I call it the ball rule. Like, if you're that close to busy roads that somebody could chase something and end up in front of it, you want your subject property and your comp to be that close to busy roads. I hope this helps. I've got 3 more minutes and I want to see if she picks up on a double dial, because I really liked that idea in the chat. Hang with me. Hopefully she picks up.
Lauren McGuire with McGuire Real.
Nope, but I bet you her phone is ringing off the hook today. So a double dial is kind of the perfect opportunity in this scenario to let her know that I'm very serious. Following up then with a text that lets her know what I'm serious about is always helpful. Honestly, in real estate and in business, I want to make money. I want her to make money. I'm not being annoying. I'm here to put money in your bank account. So that's always like a good thing to kind of remind them. I'm not here to be annoying. I just want to get this deal done for you. What do I send for a card? I just go onto Canva and I make a little image that has my logo on it and has a photo of me, and it says what markets I buy in and has my email and has my number. That's all it has. But the face is the important part there. I'm saying, hey, I'm not a robot. I'm a real person. If you call, you're also going to get a voice that probably matches this face, kind of. All right, you guys, I can't believe we only have 2 minutes left and it happened so fast. I'm sure that there were plenty of questions and comments that I did not get to. Just a reminder that you can always reach out to me on IG. It does sometimes take me a little bit of time to get to you, but as soon as I do, we're rocking and rolling and working together. I want to give a shout out to somebody who took that opportunity from my invitation, and they are now under contract on their first deal. So round of applause to Nav, one of our Astro Flipping community members. I'm excited for him and I hope he gets it through the loop. And I want to see you all do that. I mean, the first one is proof of concept. It's the hardest one. It's hard to stay on the phones if you feel nervous, but that's what this community is for. We're here to support each other. Guys, if you don't have privy to utilize, to be able to see these kinds of things in the background before you're even on the phone with the agent, I highly suggest it. I even have a code for you. It's my favorite last name. It's Danji. And if you use that code, you're going to get 30% off the annual package. And if you use that code, you'll also get 20% off if you choose to go the month-to-month route off your first month. Guys, thank you. I really appreciate you guys being here with me today and supporting me so much in the chat.